And welcome to that beautiful hour of the day where you sit back, relax, and I bring you the topics and guests to discuss it in depth. And today I have a very, very worrying and subject. Rebel land, our own Kwetenete went all the way up to Bole Bamboy, and he came up with an expose which is quite troubling. What is it? Well, there's a town called Dollar Power and another called Bole Accra, all up there in Bole Bamboy. What is it? Vast land full of riches, gold. And there are men wielding guns who are protecting those who are mining and carrying their gold about. And every now and then, there's the untold that happens where there are shootings and killings. And it makes you wonder, all this happening in our quote and unquote peaceful Ghana? When did it start? How long has it been going on? And when will it end going forward? My name is Nana Sakwa the Fourth, Chief of Akwamu Edumasa, and your host. When I come back, I will introduce some fine gentlemen who have an in-depth and insight on what's going on up there and how it is that we can keep it safe. Don't touch that remote.
Well, after watching the documentary, as you know, I did it with all my commanders of institutions and the Ministry for the Interior. My impressions are positive. First, it's a good piece of investigative journalism, and it also raises issues that are pertinent to the activities of institutions, security institutions under the Ministry for the Interior. And so we're going to derive from that action plan in terms of what immigration needs to do about its nearest post to the area. We'll also take it from what the DISEC and Bole district and of course the RESEC northern region to work together to see the various aspects of security matters that need to be addressed.
Security is one of the concerns many of the persons I spoke to raised. So what's the Interior Ministry doing to give reassurance to the people that the ministry is going to take charge of their security, especially in those areas?
First of all, I think that we are quite clear in our minds that the rebels are not squarely on Ghanaian soil. And what we need to do is to keep them outside Ghanaian soil. But one concern is that when you talk about the Dollar Town and Accra in the rebel land as you described it, it may well be a reservoir of armed robbers who normally get out of those localities to perpetrate acts of robbery along the highway, and we've got quite a number of them. So one of the things we need to explore is to what extent those people who rob on the main roads could be from that. And also, we also want to ensure that the DISEC is in full control of what is happening there. Offenses committed there must be investigated and also dealt with according to law. So the various sections immediately that I think under the Ministry for the Interior are relevant are first immigration, to deal with the movement in and out through that area into La Côte d'Ivoire and back, and the police regarding the acts of lawlessness where you have even people who are deprived of their property by armed people. We saw them handling arms. Do they have licenses to handle arms? All those things are relevant. And of course, for the activities in themselves, are they involved in legal and lawful activities?
Well, thank you very much for staying. That was Ambrose Derry, Minister for Interior. But with me in the studio, right next to me, is Major Derek Yawodro, who's Chairman for Parliamentary Committee on Defence and Interior, and also Honourable Member of Parliament for Nkoranza North. Major, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good. And then with us in the studio as well is Yusuf Suleimana Alhaji, who's Honourable Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you.
But Yusuf, let me start with you since it's in your enclave. You're the MP there. What's happening at Dollar and Accra, Dollar Power and Bole Accra?
Yeah, Nana, let me first of all thank the good people of Bole Bamboy for doing me this honor. They asked me to represent them in the House of Parliament. And again, to also thank you for bringing me here to discuss this very, very important issue. Again, I cannot continue without thanking the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, coming back to your issue. First of all, let me say that when I watched the documentary, I was like, this is a total departure of what I know the situation is. And so I got in touch with Kweti Nati to find out when he did that documentary, and so many issues came up. And before I continue to give you an answer to your question, I raised some concerns about the documentary. For instance, if you describe them as rebels, then I ask myself, rebels on the land of Ghana or on the Ivory Coast side? And if they are on the Ivory Coast side, what is our concern? If they are on our land, what is our concern? I try to figure out what exactly the title should have been, because I have a problem with the fact that it was described as rebel land. To put this in perspective, let me just tell you the location of Dollar Power. Bole district shares a boundary with the Côte d'Ivoire to the west. And so the southwestern part of it is where you have Dollar Power, and for that matter, Accra. Now you need to cross the Black Volta to be able to get to Dollar Power. But on the face of it, many people believe that the Black Volta separates Ghana from Côte d'Ivoire. And so in the case of Dollar Power, you need to get to a community called Intereso, where he passed to Dollar Power. As soon as you cross the river, the Black Volta, to your right is Côte d'Ivoire, and to your left is Ghana. That's the interesting aspect of it. In other places along the boundary, as soon as you cross the river, then you are in Côte d'Ivoire. Now, to get to Dollar Power, those days, you have to necessarily go through the Ivory Coast land to be able to access this place called Dollar Power, which belongs to the Bole traditional area. Now, they discovered some gold dust in that community, and they will have to always go through Côte d'Ivoire to get to Dollar Power. And that's why I have a problem with the issue of calling them rebels. For me, if you ask me, I'll say that these are disbanded rebels, if you accept it.
You're still using rebels?
Yes, I'm still using it because he forced this on some of the people he interviewed. If you listen to him very well, for instance, if you go to a guy called Yayira, when Yayira was referring to Ann Roberts, Kweti was referring to rebels. Now, what I'm saying is that for me, if you ask me, these are guys, in any case, my understanding of who a rebel is a person who resists a well-established authority. Now, which authority are these people resisting?
Are you saying there's no authority in Bole?
No, I'm saying that we need to define which authority they are resisting.
But the state's authority.
Which states? These guys are found on the land of Côte d'Ivoire. That's what I want to establish. So I was saying that before you get to Dollar Power, You have to go through Cote d'Ivoire before you get to Dollar Power. And Dollar Power is a Ghanaian community.
There's no cause for concern?
I'll get to that. So, and I agree that there's a challenge there. But my problem is that the word rebel land, I have a problem with that. In any case, they are not on our land. They are on their land. However, we believe that they do other activities on our land, which calls for a concern. But to say that rebel land, I have a problem with that. Now, I was saying that you needed to go through the Cote d'Ivoire part of the land to get to Dollar Power. And when they started doing the small-scale business, gold business there, the disbanded armed robbers will always intercept them and then tax them. You listen to them, one of the guys saying that you have to produce an ID card and all of that before they take money from you and allow you to go in. I'm told that as time goes on, the people from Bole, the Ghana side, decided that we will not go through the Ivorian side. So they created their own road that takes them straight to Dollar Power. And so they left them there. Of course, they are taking money from them and they wanted to continue to take from them. So then they, once in a while, look for those dealers to attack them and take their gold from them. And that is the so-called rebels. Now, the community belongs to the Bole Traditional Council, or the Boleura. And for that matter, he needed to put a chief there, and that's our tradition. And I know you're a chief. And wherever you have a land, the paramount chief will have to put somebody there to take care of the land. So this chief normally will have some people to protect him, and that's our tradition. And so if you have seen some guys holding guns, the question is whether they are licensed or not, I cannot tell. But if you ask me, to some extent, if they are licensed them, they are allowed to use those guns to protect the chief. Now the chief goes there, there's this gold mine, gold activities there, and he supervises the activities. Definitely, I know they take something from them. But we realize, and that is what they told me, that anytime people buy the gold and they were going to Bole or any place where they can get means to wherever they want to go and sell their gold, people attack them.
Hold on there. Let me bring Major in here. Major, there's a lot of semantics. Is there any cause for alarm as to whether they're in Ivory Coast, the chief has guns? You were part of the interior committee. Is there any cause for concern?
Yeah, definitely, Dana. First of all, let me also greet the people of Ghana, and then particularly the people from Brong-Ahafo region, scaling it down to Kransa, where I come from. Nana, the issue of rebels, fighters, and that kind of thing, they are all, like you are saying, semantics. And, no rebel would allow you to call him rebel. He will tell you that he's a freedom fighter. He's fighting for his freedom. You call him rebels, he will not take kindly to you at all. Now, just like my colleague MP from Bamboy is saying,
Bole Bamboy.
Bole Bamboy is saying, now the rebels are found at the side of Ivory Coast. The miners who are looking for gold are on the side of Ghana. He mentioned that the river, the Black Volta, geographically you see that the Black Volta is the boundary between Ghana. That forms the boundary between Ghana. But on the ground, it is not. You have to cross Black Volta and get to Dollar Town or Dollar Power. Now, that place belongs to the traditional area of Bole. So they control that area. Even though on the face of the map, it belongs to Ivory Coast, but no. So that is where the miners, the Galamsey people are operating. And those people are not the rebels. The rebels are behind. When Gbagbo and the Ivory Coast issue came, those who were not, they couldn't put them into the Ivorian armed forces remained there. Because I think they were on the side of Gbagbo. So that is where they've located themselves. And just as he said, before you go to that place, you have to route your way through Ivory Coast before you go to the side of Ghana, because that place is accessible. And anytime they pass there, they tax them on the route. They have barriers. The rebels, if we should call them rebels or fighters or anything, in Ivory Coast, they've taxed Ghanaian miners who are accessing that route into Ghana territory. So those miners are there, and once in a while you see, activities of armed robbers getting into Ghana territory there because they are mining there. So they will move there. That called for the provision of security for the miners, and then the landowners, maybe the chiefs, made sure that they provided that security, and then the miners were paying them because either the rebels or our local armed robbers were terrorizing them. So they were keeping peace or security for the miners. Now, because they created their own route, that is the information available to my committee, Defense and Interior Committee, of which I'm the chairman. Because they created their route, they were deprived of livelihood, money, the tax that the rebels were collecting when they passed through Ivory Coast. So now they don't have anything. How are they going to live? They are rebels. They are not being catered for by Ivorian authorities. So they have to look for something to feed. And therefore, they also manage to infiltrate into the dollar town or dollar power. And then they were also making away some gold, which these people have mined. And that is creating problem. For me, as a security person, how were they operating? They were operating with weapons. The rebels were operating with weapons, whether they operate into the territory of Ghana or they are along the border, they create a state of insecurity. Now, those who were operating on the side of Ghana, the militias, if I should call them that way, were also holding guns. And they also create a state of insecurity. That place should not be a lawless situation or lawless town. That place is under Ghana. Dollar power is a town in Ghana. And therefore, that place is supposed to be controlled by the security of Ghana, and not militia people who have taken the place to be their own place and then they were controlling. We have people over there who are border security, that is the migration people. Migration people are not holding weapons.
Major, do we have enough police, army, to deploy and say, well, you go and protect these guys who are mining all over either Bole, Accra, and Dollar Power? We probably won't. And therefore, they have to find, ways and means to protect themselves, which has ended up here.
Yeah, if we handle this situation very well, then we can provide security for those who are mining. But that will mean that the miners are legal miners, not those who are illegally mining at the place, because police cannot go and protect those who have engaged in illegality. So it's a long way. We have to sit down and solve the problem so that they become maybe organized or registered miners, small-scale miners, so that they can operate, and then the security will protect them. Now, I started talking about the immigration personnel over there. It was just some couple of months ago that we approved or we passed the immigration law that mandates them to hold weapons. That arrangement has not been completed, and they don't have weapons. How can you go and provide security in an area where weapons are moving left, right, center, from the Ivorian side, from Ghanaian side? So they cannot operate over there. What is the strength of the police in that general area? That place is being controlled by the gunmen, Ghana side, Ivorian side, and how can you control them? So until the situation is solved, you cannot control anybody, those who are holding weapons and the rebels or the miners or the armed robbers who are in that territory. Because mind you, they are holding weapons, and not only these local weapons, not only these shotguns, but they are holding assault rifles. Some of them are even more powerful than what our security people hold in the security institution in our territory here. So it's a whole lot of problem which we need to sit down and see. But they were attacked when the DISEC managed to move into fact-finding group went in, consisting the DISEC. They were fired upon. The Gunners, I should say the Ghana, either the Ivorian rebels or the Ghanaian militia, they fired the DISEC people who were going to find facts and then see how they could deal with the situation.
So the situation is real.
Real, and we lost a soldier there.
Let me bring Yusuf in here, because you see, even though you seem to admit there's a problem,
Yes.
you want us to know that it is not as much as we saw in the documentary.
Yes.
But then we have in Ministry of Interior to say, look, we are moving to take charge. I mean, so which is which? Is it an issue where we should take charge, or is it an issue where we should sit back?
We cannot sit back. Security issues, you don't underrate them. All I'm saying is that from what I watched,
No, but you're not happy with the word rebel,
apart
rebel land.
yes, I think that is an issue there that called for some kind of investigation, that called for some kind of security attention.
No, but
What I'm saying is that-
you are the sort of president.
Yes.
Yeah, of
I am not
Bole
for once-
Bamboy,
I am not
of
for
Bole
once-
Bamboy.
I'm not for once suggesting that it's not an issue there. Because, for instance, like he rightly said, he came to my office and we discussed this issue this afternoon. A soldier man was killed. You cannot say that there's no insecurity there. And in that documentary, other people were killed. So I agree that there's insecurity there.
Okay, let me hold it. They'll come and fix your mic, but let me come back to Major. Major, I hear the area is such a large area that control is very difficult. I mean, so are you going to send troops and troops and troops of men, or send in spies?
Nana, the solution to that problem is to get the stakeholders down. I wanted to say when you're cutting. Now, after they fired upon the DISEC and they killed a soldier, later on the place was raided.
How long ago was this?
Oh, that was around
I think the last year. early last year.
somewhere in the early part of last year.
Yeah.
So they raided that place to get rid of those gunmen over there. They scattered, they ran away. That's where some of them moved to Accra. But now they've come back. The security agencies could not hold the ground. They just attacked, dispersed them, and then they've now come back. Now, it's not only that place. Along the border are all mining areas. There's no job for them, unemployment. So if you say you attack them, they are ready to die than to go and sit down and starve and die. They don't have any money, any money to take them anywhere. So they would make sure that they die in their country than to go empty stomach. And so we need to sit down. It's not only insecurity, or it's not only a security problem, but social problem as well. So when we sit down, plan, and go into it very well, we would bring the stakeholders together. The chiefs, the miners, even the miners have sponsors, and then the dealers, those who go there to buy, at times they also provide money. You go and sit them down, especially the chiefs, and then the
landowners.
The landowner and the chiefs, and then the miners, the youth who are engaged in this galamsey. We sit them down and see how best. Then we need to open the place up. We have to look for a job for them. That is a problem for the national government. How are we going to solve that problem? Mind you, it's not only that place. There are a whole lot of places. If you go to Achim land, yeah, I know that Achim people were so proud when they mentioned that Achim Kwa will not bring. Now Achim Kwa will not pure water. They are drinking water. The waters are not good. So we need to sit down and solve the problem, not to go and attack them, and then we cannot sit on the land, and then we leave the place. The people will go back and go and reoccupy and then be mining. We haven't done anything. The chiefs are also prepared to sponsor them to go and mine because the chiefs receive income from that place. So it's a whole lot of exercise that we have to do by bringing in the military, the security people can go and do their own job, but the problem will not be solved unless we tackle the social problem over there.
You see,
No.
in terms of tackling the problem, I mean, what would be an alternative? Because somebody who is mining is not a pilot who can get a plane to fly, so he's mining, or a doctor who hasn't got a hospital, so he's mining, or a teacher who hasn't got a classroom. They are generally, maybe he can only learn how to shoot or hasn't got any training. What would be a solution?
Rightly so, and I agree perfectly with what my senior honorable said. The issue goes beyond raiding the community. Like he rightly said, when the soldier man was killed, they raided the community. And then they were forced to move from Dollar Power and settled elsewhere. And that is now called Accra. That's how come Accra was given birth to. Now when they left, some of them returned to...
Any particular reason why they call it Accra?
That I cannot tell for now.
Okay.
So they came back, but some stayed there. What it means is that if they go back to raid Accra, another community will be given birth to,
Tema.
and it will continue.
Tema.
So for me, the best solution is, look, engage all stakeholders. And like he said, let's be mindful of the fact that the state owes the people, jobs. However, we're not saying that they should be involved in illegality. But if they have found the gold that's there, and that can be a source of livelihood to them, then government will have to come in and find a way of ensuring that they're able to tap that natural resource to better their lives. And so the way forward, if you ask me, yes, is to engage all stakeholders. Let us find out how do we solve the insecurity issue, and how do we also strengthen the youth there to continue to do their business. Now we can regularize their activities.
Approximately, what are the numbers?
No, we are talking about over 500, 2,000 people. Yes. And day in, day out, the number keep increasing. I've gone there, not to a Dollar Power, but when I was campaigning, like I told you, you have to cross the other side of the river and meet Ghanaians. So I went there. There are so many issues, even the road leading to that community. I would be happy that if we were to attack that issue, that road from Bole to Ntereso and even beyond is swept on. I'll be happy if we can get a school for those at the other side of the river. So these are all the issues that we have to look at. But like you said, look, we need to regularize their activities.
I mean, you see,
we need to categorize.
Politicians keep saying regularize.
Yes.
You can't regularize 2 million people digging up and down the country. I'm sure now they're over 2 million.
No, it's possible. You can put this into groups, put them into associations, and then identify some lands and license their activities.
2 million people.
Yes, it's possible. The land is there and the gold is there, I can tell you. That is not just only a Dollar Power. If you go to Bole, we are proud that we are blessed with that natural resource. We have so many communities, number of about 10 communities where the illegal small-scale business activities, takes place. And so for me, if you come to Bole, we have an association, and I'm told that, and I've met some of them, they have an association. They are ready to own up, they are ready to come forward to be assisted, so that they regularize their activities, so that they are given some kind of training, so that they are told the kind of equipment to use, so that their impact in terms of negative impact on the land is reduced. They are not going to use heavy equipment. They're going to use very simple equipment to be able to extract whatever that they are supposed to extract. And if we were to do it and do it well, they will pay some tax. The tax can be used to reclaim the land. The tax can be used to do some kind of forestation as they go on doing their activities. So there's a way out. And for me, the way forward is not to go and raid that community. And you see, if you listen to the Interior Minister, rightly so, because he has watched the documentary. And when I watched the documentary the first time, I said, come on, if this is the case, then we are not going anywhere. But I watched it several times, and I began asking myself that, look, this was not what I saw a couple of months ago. So if this documentary was done...
But you didn't go undercover.
I didn't go undercover. But the truth of the matter is that if you look at Nate very well, they open up. So all I'm saying is that there's an issue there. I'm not trying to run down the story. He did very well. There's an issue. What I'm saying is that if you listen to it, on the face of it, you'll think that there's a serious problem there, so go and raid them. raiding is not the solution. If you listen to the Interior Minister very well, that was his approach. And I read it on Ghana Web, that he's giving a hint that they will go and raid the community. I wrote a letter to him, and I'm waiting to meet him and to tell him that the way forward is not to raid the community. We can sit together, we can judge all, and we should be able to come out with a solution. I was telling my honorable senior colleague that, look, we can use dollar power as a model to solve problems in other illegal mining communities. And we are ready. The community is ready, the chiefs are ready, everybody is ready. That this is an issue that we want to tackle once and for all.
Major, the truth of the matter is that as a country, Galamsey is now out of control. That's the truth of the matter.
Correct. Correct. Because if I refer to Achim area and say that now Achim people are not drinking Achim
the Brim
River, but rather drinking pure water, then you know the nature of problem that we have. It's all over the whole Ghana. Galamsey operation is all over the country. Ghana is rich. The mineral deposit in Ghana, in terms of gold, is so wide, all over the place, everywhere. Even I will not be shocked when Accra, the land here, people will start mining, digging the story building, the high-rising buildings, and then be looking for gold here because the country is rich. Now, what we need to do is that the government should take the bull by the horn and say that enough is enough. All our river bodies are spoiled. You can't drink any water in any place in Ghana here. If you ever go travel by air, local flight, and you see all the rivers have turned to, the color is now brown. If you look down, you see. Now, Bole, Bamboy area, the problem, maybe the government may have solution to it, because I think that the government's policy of one district, one factory should start from that place. One factory, one district should start from that place, so that the youth over there will have something to do before you can stop them. And the Nananum should also be considered. If they are made parts of that policy, then they also have something to gain from, because the people belong to them. They are their sons, daughters, and children of the place. And therefore, if they have something to do, then they will not go back to mine. If they can regularize, as my brother said, register them. As far back, so many years ago, I know very well that Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, they went and then did a regional tour, and they came out with a solution that these Galamsey people should not be harassed. They should put them into small-scale mining. And that's, the government at that time bought that idea, and that's how we came to the situation where these people were called small-scale mining, and then they started. But we cannot register them. Why? That policy is there. Let's register them. Let's put them into groups. Let's even support them. The way they even dig their own foxholes and then enter them, and then it's always been collapsing and then killing them. It's not the best. We can resource, we can provide them with logistics they can use in digging and then protecting the holes that they dig. And that will mean that they have been registered officially, and then we deal with that situation. So the solution to that problem is to make sure that provision of work is made to the people, the youth over there, so that they will not go. The other stakeholders that I mentioned, those who are sponsoring them, will be shocked.
Let me take a break and come back, because I'm really interested in the stakeholders, i.e. the chiefs. Oh, good. I'm being told I don't have any break. That's even fantastic.
So I should continue.
Yeah, let's continue, because I want to find out about the chiefs and landowners, because there's always a silence, when it comes to Galamsey, you don't hear too much about chiefs and landowners. It's always the guy who's digging. But where did he get the land from?
They got the lands from the chiefs and then the landowners. Some of them are not chiefs, but their family, they have land, that parcel of land over there, and then they have given them out to the miners, these Galamsey operators. Now, who are those sponsoring? That is the problem. Elsewhere, you will see members at the high places People call them the politicians, call them those in government, they are sponsoring these people. So it becomes very, very difficult to approach them. But if we are able to bring all these stakeholders together, sit down with them, and those who go there to buy, if you don't go there to buy, you don't resource them for them to continue to buy, to mine. And then, as I already said, giving them the jobs, and then they will not go to this illegal mining again. That will be the solution. So the stakeholders, the landowners, the Nananom are part of this problem.
Let me bring Yusuf in here. Yusuf, have you spoken to the eminent chiefs of Bole Bamboy?
First of all, I agree that there's a need for us to bring in alternative livelihood programs so that some of the miners will leave the galamsey business and then come to do those jobs that would have been provided. And he's talking about the one districts, one factory. A laudable idea, but the question is, how many people is it going to create jobs for? The question is, there are a whole lot of issues that we have to look at when it comes to that. I agree with that. But for me, look, go and look at the Minerals and Mining Act 2015. And let me tell you that, look, the Mining Act has been amended several times because we are unable to implement some of the clauses that we put in there. A time has come for us to say that, look, this issue of galamsey business, we legalize it to some extent and make sure that government and stakeholders take control over it. Now, if they do that, the issue of chiefs will be, their role will be defined clearly. And then there won't be the need for you to have problems with chiefs. The chiefs are willing. If you go to elsewhere in the central region, there's a system that is being run where chiefs have their quota and all of that. And so there's no problem. I have spoken with chiefs from Bole, one of them whose place there's gold business, Alhaji Alasan, Kuyura Alasan. He's a friend, he's a brother. I've spoken to him several times. Even the Sindi Ura. Sindi is the place where dollar power is. Sindi is the place where you have Accra. And he takes care of that area. I've spoken to him. They are willing to, as it were, cooperate with stakeholders, cooperate with the government to regularize the activities of these illegal miners so that whatever that comes to them becomes their royalty. And they put that into good use for the benefit of the community.
With the damage to water?
I agree with you that some of there are so many negative impacts that you get as a result of illegal mining. Again, if we regularize that and we put in place rules, regulations, we define what they should do that will be accepted and what they should not do, taking into consideration the impact of their activities on our water bodies. Then we'll end up reducing the kind of negative problems that we see when it comes to the water.
I don't know how that would work because, I mean, everybody knows that the water I drink, I keep safe. And so are you saying that if as soon as I write it on paper, the man going out there will say, oh, it's now a law, so I won't destroy the water?
No, that's not the case. That's why I said we must take full control. We have the Mineral Commission. We have so many organizations that are supposed...
And you're not supposed to go near 100 kilometers to any water.
Exactly. So these are things that should be defined. So if we are giving you a license, which will be renewed every year, then we'll tell you that, look, this is the distance between where you're supposed to operate and the river source, the water source. Mm-hmm. You agree, we license you, we monitor you. 1 year, you've broken that rule. Then we deny you. Where we're supposed to punish you, we punish you. And everybody would have understood us that, look, he has broken a law. But as it stands, there's no law. All we say is that it's illegal to mine. It's illegal to buy gold if you are not licensed.
Quote and unquote, unless the paper come, and excuse me, they are stupid.
You see,
this is water that we drink, and you're telling me that if I don't put it on paper, you go and destroy it. But if you put it on paper, I will protect it.
The point is this: as we talk, whether we like it or not, it's happening. So what do we do? That's the question.
So there should be a solution.
There should be a solution, and the solution for me, we don't live in a jungle. We live in a country where rules and regulations must be respected, where we need to put in place rules, laws to govern our activities. So if we're supposed to do that, that's not difficult. He's here, he chairs the defense. And there are people who chair other committees
I thought the
who
rules,
talk to them.
Major, I thought, well, you see, when you were talking about rules, maybe the percentage that goes to government, the percentage that goes to who will be licensed to sell what chemical. But to say rules that ensure the water we drink, there should be. I see that.
No, Nana, what I'm
I mean,
saying is that you just
it's common knowledge.
Nana, what I'm saying is that you just said it here, that they are supposed to give a certain distance between their activities and the river source. That's what is supposed to be the case. Now, if they don't do it, what happens?
But that activity, with regards to whatever it is,
Yes.
whether you are farming, walking, gardening,
Yes, you're supposed to give that distance.
Yes.
Now, they are doing it over there, not respecting this issue that you're talking about. What do we do?
Now the water will be polluted so long as they use water in their work.
Exactly.
Okay. So what measures have we put in place for them to be able to avoid using the water bodies in that general area? If we haven't solved that problem, there's nothing that we can do. If we are, the authorities help them to come out with a very nice small-scale mining industry or firm, anything, call it anything. And then they have water source where they can use to wash the mineral. Then they wouldn't touch the water bodies. But because they don't have any water supply to that place, they will go for that water, which is free. Now, if they dig boreholes for them, you've registered them, this is your area of operation, mine here, we know you. You are not going to Galamsey. Galamsey is illegal mining. So you are now a registered small-scale miner. So be here. We have provided you with this amenities, with this water source. We have dark borehole water for you. Tanks are overhead. You pump and then they are there. Use it in your production. That will solve the problem. But once we haven't done that, and they don't also have huge capital to go into the sinking of boreholes, and then
they are buying
go
excavators. They can't sink a borehole.
Let me also draw your attention to a very important point here. You see, for instance, take Bole Bamboy and the communities where this small-scale mining takes place. Most of them are not by the riverside. They're able to get their own water to do their business. I think it's just dollar power and 1 or 2 communities. The rest are far from the river bodies. Yes, still they are mining. Take a village called the Kulpe, where my grandparents, hailed. You go there, there's not even any serious dam there, but they are doing gold business. You go to Kui, there's no any river there. They are doing gold business.
So how are they washing this?
They get water from boreholes. They drill their own boreholes, and they use that for their gold activities. So sometimes we just lump up everything, and that's not the case. And that's why I said, look, there's a need for us to categorize these mining activities, the Galamsey activities. We should categorize them: associations, artisanal operators, and all of that.
In Bole, what has been the benefit of gold to Bole?
A lot. I can tell you for a fact that, look, I grew up with people. I went to school with them. For some reasons, they dropped out. And one would have asked themselves, how are they going to make it? But you go to the community now, they are into business. They have built houses. They are taking care of their children where they couldn't get to in terms of education. Their children are going there because they are getting money from the gold business to take care of them.
At the cost of the environment.
Of course.
Well, so that's a negative. That's not a benefit.
That's what I'm saying. That is where government then will have to come in and ensure that we balance it. So are you saying that the natural resource should be there? He's not able to educate himself because that activity will lead to other negatives? Definitely, rationally, the person will want to go in for the money.
The environment is the ultimate.
I agree with you. Weigh the benefits.
The environment
I
is the
agree with you.
ultimate.
That is where government will have to come in.
Sure.
And then we balance it.
No, we all know that one of the distraction, one of the problems of Galamsey is the pollution of our water bodies. We can't run away from that. If there are other places that they don't pollute water,
yes,
majority, the larger area where they mine, they pollute water. So that is one of the problems. Now, another problem is that it's attracts armed robbers to the place because there's money there, there's gold, there's this mineral there. So it attracts armed robbers. I'm told that it attracts commercial sex workers. Because they also go there and then go and try to, they get a greener pasture. Then they also go and they go there to try their luck. So the problem the problems that are associated with this mining, illegal mining business is so enormous that we cannot say that we can use only one day or go and raid the place, do any other thing to sack them from that place and then we solve the problem. No. As I have already told you, Nana, if we want to solve this problem, we first have to tackle the chiefs, the problem from the chiefs. And if we say that we are going to regularize this activity, then the chief must also have their share. Legally, what percentage goes to them, they get it. Then they will not release land to illegal miners. Those who go there to buy, you have to go through certain
license.
That is that regulation. We have them there. You go through that one. Those who are financing them, if it's those from the politicians who buy this equipment for them, so they'll have excavators and things. But because they don't have other things, the washing, pollution, and that kind of thing, that's why people are not happy about their operation. So it's a matter of the whole nation sitting down. In fact, I met with the Interior Minister, and then he gave me some briefing. I met with the Minister for Security. We talked with him, and then he is even organizing all the security bosses, and then we meet and we plan a solution. We have a solution to this problem. So Defense and Interior Committee, we are going to meet all the security bosses.
Can't you leave 100 men there to just make sure they don't come back after you've cleared them?
No, that is not the solution to the problem.
That's
not the solution to the problem. We can do that. The security will be for maybe 9-day wonder. They are there to starve to death. They will not die because they don't have any work to do and they should go hungry. No, that will not happen.
The same.
That's why I'm saying they attacked them and then they came back.
Could they farm?
Nana, you see, we need to look at this issue very, very well. And I want some people to visit that community. There are lands in Bole Bamboy that cannot be used for farming purposes. The place is rocky, it's stony. There's nothing you can do to cultivate any crop there. Now you find gold in such an area. So it does not necessarily lead to land destruction in terms of farmlands. You understand? So we can identify all these places. If these are the areas where we can give to those who want to mine, we give it to them. Again, we take into consideration the pollution of water bodies. And I said, you go to Bole, for instance, most of the mining communities, they are doing it without any water bodies. So for me, like he said, raiding, if you ask me, is the last thing to do. You go and raid them, put 100 soldiers there, keep feeding them. What they will do is to move to 2, 3, or 20 kilometers away from where they are and then set up another slum there. You get another 100 put to go and meet them there, and then they move on. At the end of the day, all your security, all your forces will end up just hopping from one place to one place, trailing them. And that will not help us. Is this an issue? We must confront it and confront it holistically. And if you ask me, all stakeholders must be brought into this picture, and then we'll find a way of solving it. And if you look at the 2000 Act, the Minerals and Mining Act 2015, Act 900, they've made some provisions for regularizing and licensing all these small-scale miners. If you ask me, we should get so closer to them. If you ask me, we should make it a little bit flexible for them to be able to register.
How many would you regularize? Anybody who wants to?
No, put them into groups. You can put 300 people into an association, give them an area, get their leadership. If there's a problem, then you know who to call.
There are approximately about 2 million people.
I'm saying about 2,000 people.
No, Bole. I'm talking about nationwide.
Yes.
So if we are trying to regularize this number
Yes.
to go and dig.
Yes.
I mean, how do you regularize?
It means that you
this
are just
number
creating jobs for 2 million people. That's the implication. Now, if you were to
You
rate
don't
them,
seem to be too concerned about the environment.
no, I am. But the point is this: sack them from that activity, and they become another problem for society. If they are not able to survive, what do? Some of them have already used guns. What do? They go into robbery, and they come to attack you in your house.
So why is the
So
alternative?
it's a very complicated
why is the
issue.
alternative to Major? Why is the alternative to Galamsey?
Employment.
No. I mean, stealing. Is that the only option? That if I don't dig gold, then I have to steal?
And who was the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces last year downwards? Was it not the president?
Yeah.
President Mahama. So you think that he couldn't have put soldiers over there to stop them? That's his place. Boliman Boy is his place.
It becomes a political
solution
decision. It becomes a
does not
political.
lie in attacking them. Solution lies in the holistic approach. Find jobs for them. Make sure that the chiefs, the sponsors, the miners are all put at a place, discuss the issue, how best we can handle the situation. They would even suggest solutions, answers to the question that we asked them. We have to include them. If we put them aside, that, the security people, the armed forces, the police, the immigration, or the miners, minerals, what commission, no. If you leave them, neglect them, you silence them, you cannot solve the problem, because once we have not provided employment for the people and we sack them, they will still go back. Some of them don't even know proper Accra. I don't say that Accra is not proper. Otherwise, we are going to have Boli Tema, Boli Kumasi, Boli, what have
Bole
you?
and Kranza.
Boli and Kranza. And the situation will explode.
Yes.
We have to sit down and solve the problem. And we cannot solve the problem if we don't get to roundtable conference.
Let me
with
give
them.
you 1 minute. At least, what can we do to minimize the gun aspect of it?
The gun aspect of it.
Mining, they are mining, but those who are supposed
Yes,
to be protecting
I know that the immigration patrol that
they don't have guns. So
they don't have guns. They just pass an act that will strengthen them to now hold guns. For now, it's not happening. The police, I know, they patrol that place. I think that the letter I wrote to the Interior Minister, I'm making a request that they can have some police posts at that place. And then they resource them. Give them a vehicle that they can easily run between Bole and Dollar Power. And we all are going to now talk to the chiefs. If they will withdraw the services of those so-called gunmen that are being used by the chief, they withdraw them.
Time is up for
so
me
that they can provide some security for us in that area. Once we do that, the business will continue, and then gradually we regularize the activities, and there won't be any confusion going forward.
Thank you very much. You see Fat Sulemana, MP for Bole Bamboy, and Major Derek Yawodro, who's also MP for Nkoranza North. But hey, we need to really look at this Galamsey issue before it comes back to bite us all, because indeed one day it will come back, because the environment, if you don't treat it well, will come back and bite us. My name is Anan Sakwao. This has been PM Express, and tomorrow we'll be back to do this all over again. Thank you very much for watching, and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nana. And thanks for calling us here.
Thank you.
Bye.